Well, a row is brewing between the ANC and the Democratic Alliance over a planned march. The DA is marching to the ruling party's headquarters on the 4th of February. It's planning, we're told, to highlight its job creation program, but the ruling party thinks it's provocation. Let's debate the issue. Joining me now, ANC Youth League convener Mzwandile Masina, along with DA provincial spokesperson eNCA. To both of you, a very good evening and welcome. To the DA first, let me ask you what you are trying to achieve. The ANC is saying that you're trying to provoke a fight. The General Secretary Gwedi Mantachi, Secretary General, saying to us a little earlier tonight that this was tantamount to invading someone's house.
We're definitely not provoking a fight. We are highlighting the fact that there's been job losses in South Africa under the Zuma dispensation. That is not provoking anybody. It's a peaceful march. We have never endorsed fighting at all and violence in any form as the Democratic Alliance.
The ANC saying that if the DA wishes to challenge the ANC over policy, the platform to do so is in Parliament.
Publicly. It's not everything that happens in Parliament that the public get to see. So by highlighting, by having 6,000 DA marchers, we're actually showing that for every one person there, they represent 4,000 people who are out of jobs and need jobs in this country.
Mr. Masina, does that sound reasonable to you? Earlier, representatives of your party are saying that this march is tantamount to a threat of violence. The DA is saying they're not trying to provoke a fight at all.
Look, we are convinced as the ANC Youth League that this is a media-seeking stance. There is nothing more for them to reflect on, because we have come out very clear as the African National Congress in our manifesto, where we've outlined in terms of what is it that we are promising South Africans. The DA, if they've got anything to do, we want to advise them that they must put together a manifesto, go to the people that they hope they will vote for them, to promise them whatever that they will promise, other than to constantly attack the African National Congress. We think that there is an opportunity for them, as we have done, to outline their manifesto in terms of what are the issues in terms of jobs and the economy. But more importantly, what we wanted to advise them as the ANC Youth League is that all the monies of South Africans, it's still controlled by their bosses, their white bosses in the JSE, but also the land that they continue to control.
Be that as it may, surely they have the right, as any party does, guaranteed in the Constitution, to take to the streets and march and present their case.
Yes, that's a private house. The Revolutionary House is a private house.
Well, they're not marching into the house, they're marching to the house.
Yes.
Which is on a public street.
Look, our view is that they are undermining, because they know we have fought for democratic institutions in South Africa. There is parliament, there is union building, there is all sorts of institutions where they can do and express themselves. We think that they are seeking attention from the media, and as the ANC Youth League, we have spoken to our membership.
You are seeking attention from
we'll
the
make
media.
sure that
one way or
they
another,
do not
you
reach
want
Luthuli House.
Ventilated, don't you?
Correct. We need the public of South Africa to know that the dispensation has lost jobs. And by having a march that is public, we've even written to the ANC to say we are going to be marching towards Luthuli House, not into Luthuli House, as you stated, Jeremy. And we will be launching our election manifesto in due course. But we will highlight by going to the ANC.
But with respect, Ms. eNCA, you're also pulling the tiger's tail. Last time something like this happened, a march on Cosatu House, it ended in a clash, didn't it?
It did end in a clash because Cosatu was violent. We had no intentions of violence on the said day.
So why provoke something like this again? Are you happy that your people's lives, those volunteers that you're calling to the marches, lives might be in danger?
We're not provoking. We're not inciting a march. It's a peaceful march where we are marching.
But you are aware of the potential consequence.
This is why we have written to the ANC to highlight to them, to say this is a peaceful march, to highlight to the country that we believe that there has been job losses in this country, because the ANC keeps saying they are building jobs, and yet it's this employment that is for 3 months.
Mr. Masina, would you like to respond to that?
And not permanent.
Look, if you look very closely into our manifesto, one of the things we've been able to do was to institutionalize the long-term planning, with a hope to drive industrialization as well as infrastructure program. Because in that, we hope that that's how we're going to radicalize the economy. More importantly, in the manifesto, the ANC is very specific that out of public...
I understand you want to talk policy. I want to talk about the march.
Yes.
Does the ANC plan to stop the march on the 4th of February?
Look, I am certain, I can assure my colleague here from DA that they will not reach Luthuli House, because for us, that's provocation. and we think it's unnecessary. It's a public stance, and our members have said that they are going there to defend the Luthuli House with their lives. Myself and other members of the Youth League will be there to ensure that
Do you plan to stop the march? Are you trying to physically stop the march?
There will be human shield that will make sure that they do not reach Luthuli House.
Are you going to try and breach the human shield?
We do not do violence. We will march. If we find that people are going to react violently to us, we will do what we did at the Kosatu March, and we will prevent our members from getting into any form of violence. This is a peaceful demonstration by the Democratic Alliance. That's what we stand for.
Yet you're going to try and stop them.
We're not going to stop them.
You've just told me you're going to put up a human shield.
Look, they are not going to arrive at Luthuli House. That's a statement that we're making. They are not even going to arrive at Luthuli House. Our members will be there in numbers, and will ensure that they don't reach there, because we think...
you're in fact saying to me, Mr. Messina, that you can't guarantee that there isn't going to be
in modern
violence.
democracies, what they are doing, it doesn't happen. So it does not arise, and we are not sure why they're not marching into public institutions, opting to march to the private office of the African National Congress. For us, that's what we are going to defend.
Either way, and this is a final question to both of you, is there any way of lowering the temperatures, either for you to march somewhere else, or for your party to give some guarantee that the Democratic Alliance will be allowed to participate in what is constitutionally allowed?
What we have done, I'm sure you've seen over the past 3 weeks, we've called our people in stadiums to introduce our manifesto. We've spoken to millions of South Africans. We've never intimidated a single person. In fact, I have to correct this misstatement that there's been job losses under President Zuma. The million jobs that were lost...
Is putting up a human shield not tantamount to intimidating someone?
No, we're protecting our property.
But she has just said that they're not marching into Luthuli House, they're marching in the direction of Luthuli House.
We want to tell them that they will not get anywhere closer to Luthuli House, because it is undermining his publicity stance, and we don't think that we have time for that. Our volunteers should be spending time with our communities to explain the manifesto to our people.
Mr. Nseki, one way or another, this seems to me to be a recipe for some sort of clash and possible violence.
No, it's a complete human right. We are allowed to march and demonstrate. ANC is the ruling party. If we want to show the people of South Africa that job has been lost versus being created,
you must show them.
We want to show them by going to the party that is leading this party, this country, to say this is what has been achieved under the Zuma dispensation, and you cannot take that away from us. We've notified the ANC to say we are going to march towards Luthuli House.
The ANC has
they
declined.
have seen. We have never said that we're going to come violently and attack.
There's not going to be a resolution as far as this is concerned. To both of you, thank you. Refilwe eNCA from the Democratic Alliance with us here on Newsnight, along with Mzwandile Messina from the ANC Youth League. This is Newsnight.
Know more about your world. eNCA.com